In this video, we're going to spank Uthman ibn Farooq without any mercy. And you will see why such a deceiver needs some nice spanking. This guy needs to lie about the hadith. He needs to lie about the Quran to suit his own agenda. And he's going to talk about the satanic verses and he's going to deny it completely. But you'll see how easy it is to spank him and show everybody what kind of deceiver this guy is. Let us show you how easy it is to debunk and refute such deceivers.
Let me explain the satanic verses issue.
Right.
The Quran has never had anything but what it has in it. This idea of satanic verses that Salman Rushdie became famous by writing a horribly written book on is based on what's called a fabricated hadith. We call it in Arabic mawdu'. Mawdu' means that it doesn't have a chain of narrations going to the Prophet, peace be upon him. So this was a fabrication, but Muslim scholars across the board,
why would they fabricate it?
Oh, so there are many people who converted or seemingly converted to Islam or reverted to Islam, but they were people who were in their hearts enemies of Islam. So they would try to act as they are Muslims and then make fabrications.
Fabrications, Mr. Fibbin? What a lie. You are a liar, you have no honor and you have no shame. Since you are a Hanbali, let us see what Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal in his volume 3 has to say about the satanic verses. And Muhammad actually received many satanic verses on different occasions, and this is one of them.
So this was a fabrication.
Since Ibn Fibbin here claims to that he is a Salafi Muslim, he is probably following the Hanbali school. And if we go to the book of Imam Ahmad in his Musnad, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, we can find the following hadith, which is sahih. And I want to see if Ibn Farooq here, or maybe I should say Ibn Farooq here, if he actually will deny this sahih hadith and still call himself a Salafi Muslim. This is volume 3 of Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal, hadith number 15967. Enjoy. عن أبي روح الكلاعي قال صلى بنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة فقرأ فيها سورة الروم فلبس عليه بعضها قال إنما لبس علينا الشيطان القراءة من أجل أقوام يأتون الصلاة بغير وضوء فإذا أتيتم الصلاة فأحسنوا الوضوء. And here is my English translation. Allah's Messenger, SAW, prayed for us and he recited Surah Ar-Rum, which is chapter 30 of the Quran. But Satan cast on us his satanic recitation because people came to pray without performing ablution. Again, this is Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal, hadith number 15967, volume 3. So according to this hadith, while Muhammad is reciting Surah Ar-Rum, which is chapter 30 of the Quran, Satan started to cast down on his tongue satanic recitation only because people came to pray without performing ablution.
So this was a fabrication, but Muslim scholars across the board,
Why would they fabricate it?
Oh, so there are many people who converted or seemingly converted to Islam or reverted to Islam, but they were people who were in their hearts enemies of Islam. So they would try to act as they are Muslims and then make fabrications.
So in other words, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal was an enemy of Islam, ya Ibn Farooq? Really? Did you just call Ahmad ibn Hanbal an enemy of Islam and a fabricator? Well, it is your funeral. You are the Salafi Muslim, not me.
It was like, whoa, oh my God. I was like,
Can you imagine the so-called best of example, the best of creation, not knowing the difference between Satan and Allah, and confusing the satanic verses that he was receiving with the Quran. And by the way, this hadith is mentioned everywhere. You can find it also in As-Suyuti's book, Jalaluddin As-Suyuti's book, Jam' al-Hadith, volume 10, and the hadith number is 8951. And as you see, Rijalahu, Rijal Sahih, meaning all the men mentioned in the chain are Sahih. So is it fabrication, Mr. Ibn Fibn? No. You are nothing but a liar and a deceiver. And this is only one incident that Muhammad had with Satan. Satan delivering satanic verses on the tongue of Muhammad. There is more. What about Sahih al-Bukhari? Let us go to Sahih al-Bukhari. Now this is the famous hadith that we can find in Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 1071. Again, Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 1071. Muslims, when they go to this hadith, they will give their own interpretation about it. But the real interpretation is the following. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet prostrated while reciting Surah An-Najm. And with him prostrated the Muslims, the pagans of Mecca, the jinns, and all human beings. Wait a second. Remember, the story, the Islamic standard narrative goes like this. When Muhammad was in Mecca, the pagans rejected him. Only a couple of idiots, right, followed him. But the majority of the Quraysh, of Mecca, they rejected him. And Muhammad had to flee Mecca and he migrated to Medina. So here's the question. Why would pagans, it says the pagans, all the pagans, prostrate in front of the idols? Because Muhammad here, according to Sahih al-Bukhari, he delivered the satanic verses. This is why all the pagans and all the jinns and all human beings who were present, they prostrated and bowed down to Allat, al-Uzza, wal-Manat. So Muhammad became a mushrik. All the Muslims became mushrikeen, and the pagans were mushrikeen anyway, right? Ya Muslimin? Else, why would the pagans of Mecca who rejected Muhammad bow down and prostrate, which is an act of worship? Remember, when Muhammad gave the satanic verses, he said, تِلْكَ الْغَرَانِيقَ الْعُلَى إِنَّ شَفَاعَتَهُنَّ لَتُرْتَجَى. These are the exalted high cranes. Their intercession is hoped for in the Arabic. Meaning, Muhammad delivered the satanic verses, and everyone who was there, everyone who was present, prostrated, bowed down, and became a mushrik that day, including all the pagans. Else, why would the pagans bow down if this was the Quran? No. At that very moment, Muhammad did not know the difference between the Quran, Surah An-Najm, and the satanic verses that Satan included on the tongue of Muhammad. Do you see why all the pagans prostrated? That's why. There is more. What about the Quran itself? What about Surah Al-Hajj, chapter 22, ayah 52? Look what it says. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيًّا إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ فَيَنْسَخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ إِلَى آخِرِ الآية, to the rest of the ayah. If we read the translation, look what it says. And all the noble messengers, all prophets whom we sent before you, it occurred with all of them, meaning they all recited the satanic verses, that whenever they recited, let's say, the message of Allah, Satan himself included a bit on their tongue from his own speech in their recitation to the people, including Muhammad. So Allah then abrogates what Satan included on the tongues of the prophets of Allah, and then Allah fortified his verses to the rest of the ayah. So do you see that even the Quran confirms that all the prophets of Allah received satanic verses? So how is this da'if? How is this a fabricated hadith, ya Ibn Fibn? You have no honor, you have no shame, and you need to even lie about the Quran too. And we showed you Sahih al-Bukhari.
So this was a fabrication, but Muslim scholars across the board,
Why would they fabricate it?
Oh, so there are many people who converted or seemingly converted to Islam or reverted to Islam, but there were people who were in their hearts enemies of Islam, so they would try to act as they are Muslims and then make fabrications.
You are a crook and you are a fraudster, and we will call out each and every single one of you out. Wallahi, we will call you out and we will catch you, because part of our da'wah is not just to find the disbelievers who are a'da. The enemy is disbelievers, but also to find the munafiqun of the ummah, that they're creeping around pretending to be Muslims. You're finished. You're finished. You're finished. You're finished. Wallahi, you're finished. Wallahi, you're finished. Don't ever come out. Any retraction you do now, switch off your social media. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to hear your voice. Wallahi, wallahi, you're a crook and a fraudster.